everyone, Karen here, and today we're going to be making a hexagon card that pops out. It goes flat, 5 by 7 to go into the envelope, but then when you take it out, it automatically opens up. Now this one here, I made a flower basket. The one today, I'm going to be doing more of a traditional balloons party theme, but they all go together the same way. Now I will say, depending on the size of what you're putting in here, you'll need a different amount of things. I have about 25 flowers in here, and they were about 3 inches tall. So these balloons and everything are a little bit bigger, so I'm going to have a different number of things. Now, the base of this is 7 inches, so I'm going to size it to fit in a 5 by 7 envelope. But if you want to put taller things in here, you absolutely can. You'll just need a bigger envelope. But the base will be absolutely the same. So let's get started. So to make this card, you really only need 2 different sizes of paper. You're going to need 2 pieces of paper that are 1.5 by 7.5, and they're going to be scored at 2, 5, and 7. Then you're going to need 5 1 by 5s, which are going to be scored at 1/2, 1, 4, and 4.5. And that's all we need to do. The rest is all embellishments of what you want to decorate it with. Alright, so I have extra balloons here in case I need them. And I do have some acetate in case I decide I need that. But this is what I know I'm going to start with. So let's move this over here to the side. And let me get my scoreboard. Alright, so let's start with the 1.5 by 7.5. So each one is just going to be scored at 2, 5, and then 7. And that is just going to be folded. And when you fold it, you want to make sure you keep it nice and straight. And our little 1/2 inch tab here on the end is what we're going to use to glue the 2 pieces together. Alright, now for the 1 by 5s, I folded a couple of these so you can see where we're headed here. So we're going to be making these little springy pieces. So we're going to score it 1/2 and 1 on either side to make our little springy pieces. So I'm just going to put 2 pieces up here to get it done a little bit faster. And we're going to score at 1/2 and at 1. And then we're going to come on the other side and go at 4 and 4.5. Now, if it's easier, you can absolutely flip it around and do 1/2 and 1 on both sides. Both things will get you there. That is all the scoring we need. All right, let me bring in my glue, and let's do the base first. So we have our 2 papers with a tab on the end, a little 1/2 inch tab on the end, and a 3-inch section and a 2-inch section on either side here. So what we're going to do is put glue on this 1/2 inch little tab. Alright, and we're going to attach these 2 pieces together. So you're going to take the tab piece, the non-tab side, and put them together. Now if you have double-sided paper, or if you have paper that goes in a direction, make sure when you're cutting it, it's all going to make sense when you put it together. Because like this one here, I have small lines on the one side, big lines on the other. This is Kingston paper, so I needed to make sure I put both going in the same direction. Alright, you don't want any surprises after you've glued it and then realize you've done something the other direction. Alright, so now we're going to do the same to the other side. Put some glue. Now this should lay flat. And we're just going to lay this down. Make sure you're nice and flush. And your base is laying down flat. Okay, so then when it pops up, now we have our hexagon. Alright, let that dry for a moment. Now let's bring in our little pieces. So these are the 3 I did earlier. So now I'm just going to fold at the 1/2 inch and the inch, 1/2 inch, and an inch. So the 1 inch is going to be a mountain. Bring this up here, is a mountain. And the 1/2 inch is going to be a valley. So we end up with a V. Like that. Alright, do the same thing here. We're going to have a mountain at the 1 inch and a valley at the 1/2 inch. mountain and a valley. All right, now these are going to be on the inside, so it doesn't really matter if they're all facing the same direction or if your paper pattern's going in the same direction, because you're not going to see it once the card is all decorated. So now we're going to start putting these together. I'm going to put glue on this first little flap here, this 1/2 inch, on both sides. And I'm going to attach it to the next one. Now I am attaching it as if it's closed on the 3-inch section. So that, let me get really close here so you can see. Alright, so that goes down, this goes flat, that goes on here. The other side, this goes flat, and attach it to the next one. So when you attach them, it will then look like this. Alright, so let's do the next one. Going to put glue on the flap, both sides. Lay this down. The flap will line up flush with this side and this side, and press down. Now we have 3. Next one. Oh, my glue bottle's almost empty here. Alright, glue on this side, glue on this side, and add it to the top of your stack. Just line it up. Alright, hold it there for a second. Now for the last one. We're going to put glue again on the flap. And on this one. And add this to the top. Let's hold that for a second. Alright, let me just give that a second to hold before we put it inside the hexagon. Alright, let's see. I think we're good. So now, for the one side, we're going to come back to our little flaps again. This is our flap that's loose. That is going to go into the card. And you probably want to put this, here I'll put it upright so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to the 3-inch section here in the back, and we're going to put this right in the middle. Now it doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but you want to aim for about the middle. See, I left a little bit of room here and a little bit of room here. All right, so now, to attach the front, we're going to put a strip of glue down the middle and flatten the card. And just let that dry. And that is all there is to the base. So now, the rest is decorating. So let me give this a second to grab hold so I can handle it better, and then we will decorate. Alright, so this looks ready now. And the one thing I will say is when you put the glue in the front, make sure you do hit the center, or just put in a wider strip, because you want to make sure that this opens evenly. So if you go to open it and it looks like it's crooked, just put a little bit more glue across the front, and then it will straighten out. Alright, so now we have our base all done, so now we can decorate. So what I was thinking here, I'm going to start off with these balloons. So I have one that's kind of shaped inward, and this one is kind of shaped inward also in the other direction. So I'm going to start with these. So what I was thinking, now one thing to keep in mind before we get too far here, is this piece of paper is 5 inches tall. Because I want to be able to put this in a 5x7 envelope. So I'm going to lay this on here and use this as my check. So I know I don't want anything extending past this 5-inch mark. And you can use just any kind of scrap paper that you have. That way you just know that your card is going to fit in the envelope you want to use. Alright, so now I'm going to lay this on here to show you what I'm talking about. So if I lay this on here, I can put this in to about here. So I want to cover up to the bottom of this orange balloon when I tuck this in. All right, let's see. Pull on this a little bit. Yep, it's dry. All right, so I'm going to put glue across the bottom here of this blue balloon. And I want to put this in here. And I'm going to let that hold there. Now you can decorate the inside of these sides. You're not limited to just here. Because if you look at my original, let's see if I hold it that way. See, you can see I did attach some to the outside. And that is absolutely okay. It won't get caught or anything when you close it. And it does make it look nice and full. So now this one, I'm going to put on the other side. I'll lay that here. And now I'm going to lay that down to make sure I am not taller than 5 inches. And I am good. I am good to go. Alright, so nothing taller than that. So now I know everything needs to be shorter than here. Now I have this banner. Now I was trying to decide if I wanted to put this on a piece of acetate across the back. You know what? We won't know unless I put it on there. So let me try this. Let me grab some tape. I have some tear tape here. So I'm going to put some on the bottom here. And let's see. So if this is down here, I need to cut this off a little bit. So I'm going to snip this. Snip it about there. I will put the tear tape. I take the paper off here. And I am just going to stick this to the back. And you can squeeze this every time you attach something to get something to stick. Now, I am not sure what this is going to look like. This may be an absolute fail. We will see. Oh, I think it's going to be all right. So this little banner has 5 pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the back of the red one. All right, get this to stick. There we go. Now this will be here. Let's see. No, I like it. I think I'm going to leave it there. I wasn't too sure about that. Alright, so now I have more balloons that we can put here and here. Those two are kind of straight. But I have the happy birthday, which I am going to put in the front here. So let's go ahead and grab some foam and put that on. So I know where that's going to go. Now I am not going to go all the way across. I'm going to put 2 pieces on the sides like this. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I want to be able to have this to still have some flex in the front. I noticed with the first one I did, when I put it all the way across, it just made the card a little stiff. Because I want this to still be able to flex. Alright, so this is going to get lined up on the bottom. Alright, so now we have this so far. So now, we also definitely have, let's see, let me flip this around so we can see it. So I have a cake, which I definitely want in the middle. I have some presents, and I have some groupings of 3 balloons. Not sure if I'm going to need those. And I have some big candles. So you don't look a day over fabulous. I think I want to put about here. So I'm going to grab my acetate. And I only need a skinny little piece of this, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut this freehand. Keep that over here so I can keep track of it. Now let's put a little piece of tear tape on there. All right. Now there are 5 pieces in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I want to put this in the middle. Yep, there we go. so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go in the third one here. I think I'm going to put it in the back. And put it on the back side of the third one. So now I can take the You Don't Look a Day Over Fabulous, and I think I will put that on here. So that way I know the tape is on the acetate, and then I can place You Don't Look a Day Over Fabulous a little crooked, or however I want to do this. I think we'll put it like that. There we go. So now we have balloons, a banner, our messaging. So maybe we'll put, since that's in the middle, maybe we'll put presents over here and the cake over here. Or maybe we'll put the cake in the front. You know what? I'm going to put the cake in the front so I can put the candles around it. So I think I will put this right here. And actually, I think I am going to put this on a little piece of foam, just to give it a little bit of separation here. I think. Might be pulling that off. Yeah, that puts that down a little low. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to put this on a little piece of acetate. I just want this sticking up just a little bit. So I have the foam on the back. Okay, so I have the foam on the cake and the acetate attached to that. I'll cut that little piece off I don't need. Alright, so now I would take a piece of tear tape, go across the bottom here, I will slide that right, let's see, I think I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it in the front. That still kind of blocks that a little bit. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull this off. So I'm not happy with that. Pull this off. So this needs to be higher. So I'm going to cut this piece of acetate off. Put a new piece on. Put a little piece on the bottom. Now we'll make this a little bit higher. Now there should be room for the cake. Now there's room for the cake. Alright, so now the cake can come right here. So I'm just going to put a little glue across the back. I'm not going to go all the way across because I want to be able to have this card have a little bit of flex. Kind of like with the happy birthday in the front. Just going to put glue in the middle. There we go. That's a lot better. Alright, so now we have the presents and the candles. So I'm thinking I'm going to put a candle here. Now the candle I'm going to put glue on the back. And I am going to put it on the outside here. On this outside part here. You hold it for a second. There, see? I put it on the outside. And now I'll take another candle and put it on the outside on the other side. So again, glue on the back. I'm going to put it over here and close. Alright, so now we have our candles coming out that way. So now, let's see, so what do we have left? We have some more candles. I think maybe I'll put a candle over here. So this candle will get glue in the front. And it will come up like this. Because I want to make sure it doesn't come out past the edge of the card here. Because this is where it's 7 inches, so you want to make sure it's not going to stick out. So we'll put one there. And we'll put another one on the other side. Maybe the blue one. So this one will also get glue in the front. And we'll go in here. Like that. Okay. So now we have that. So now we have the presents, which I want to put them back here or in the front. I think these are going to go on acetate. Let me cut this down the middle. Put them over here so I don't lose track of them. And we'll get some tear tape. Put a piece on that one. Put a piece on this one. I'll put that behind the present. And this will go behind the other present. So now I can decide how high I want to put these. So I think about there. So I'm going to put a piece of tear tape across the bottom. Pull the paper off. And I'm going to count in 1, 2, 3. Put it on the outside. I'm going to put it at an angle and close it. There we go, that's good. And you want to test it every once in a while, making sure things aren't going to get caught as you open and close your card. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Take the blue present, put a piece of tear tape across the bottom. And red liner tape will work just as well. I just find this paper backing to come off a little easier. I'm going to count back 3 again. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to slide that in here and close it. Alright, so now we have the presents. And our card here is getting kind of full. It's starting to look good. So let's see, what else do we have left? I have one more balloon candle. Let's see if we need one more, or 4 is enough. Well, we could put it in the front here to hide our acetate. I think we'll do that. So I'm going to reach in here and put it in front of the acetate and close the card. Alright, so that's now covering that. I might put it to the side a little bit, I think. It doesn't cover fabulous as much. There we go. I got that. So now, let's see, do I want to put, I have 2 more balloons here. I may just put them on the edge here, just to give the card more of a back. I think I shall. So now I'm going to put glue on the back of these. Now here I need to make sure I don't go too high, so I'm going to turn this sideways, use my 5-inch paper here as a guide, lay this down, and slide that in, making sure I'm not too tall. and I'm good. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's pull this forward. All right, give that a moment to grab. All right, we'll go to the other side. Glue will go on the back. Going to go right up against this back piece here and press down. Make sure you're not coming over the side here. You don't want to try to slide it in your envelope and then it doesn't fit. That would be sad. All right. So now we're looking pretty full. We may not need anything else. Yep. Candle didn't quite dry yet. Alright, I think this might be it. So maybe, if I wanted to, you could put these two down here to cover the front. I think I will put those on foam. And this card will be finished. So I want to put the foam closer to the bottom, because I need to make sure that these are not going to hang off the bottom here. They need to be flush with the bottom here. And we'll put these over here. I think this card is finished. There is a lot going on here. So there you go. Happy birthday. You don't look a day over fabulous. And there is a lot going on here. You don't have to make it this full, but you absolutely can. And then this folds flat to go in a 5x7 envelope. And like I said, this is 7 across. If you want to put it in a 7x7 envelope and make this a square, you absolutely could. You could just go taller here. But everything would still fit on the 7-inch wide base. And here's the first one I made again with the flowers. Now this one here, I put the message on the back instead of in the middle. You can do it either way. Your choice. And if you enjoyed this card, please give me a thumbs up, because that is how YouTube is counting everything. And consider subscribing to my channel, because every Friday there will be another video with another card. And until next time, stay crafty.